In a society that often idolizes youth and conditions us to view aging as something to resist, relationships between older women and younger men are frequently misunderstood and criticized. However, beneath the surface lies a rich dynamic that, when approached with awareness and authenticity, can be deeply fulfilling and transformative for both partners. Drawing from psychological principles inspired by Carl Jung, this article unpacks why many such relationships fail and how mature women can shift their mindset to create romantic connections that thrive, not in spite of their age, but because of it. 1. Age isn't the issue. Subconscious insecurity is contrary to popular belief. The main factor that determines success in a relationship between an older woman and a younger man isn't age, appearance, or financial status. It's the energy she brings into the connection. Many women unknowingly send signals of insecurity, fear of judgment, or a desperate need to prove their worth. These unconscious behaviors can erode attraction faster than any age gap ever could. The key is not to hide or overcompensate for one's age, but to own it fully and confidently. 2. The caretaker trap, a common relationship killer. One of the most subtle yet damaging behaviors is when an older woman begins treating her younger partner like a child. It starts with good intentions, offering advice, trying to protect him, or being overly helpful. But soon, the dynamic turns parental. Instead of being seen as a lover or equal, she becomes a surrogate mother. This behavior completely shuts down the romantic charge. A younger man may appreciate guidance occasionally, but he is not looking for a second mother. He wants an equal, a woman who respects his autonomy, his process, and his journey, just as much as he respects hers. 3. Confidence overcompensation. A pivotal moment in many of these relationships is when the topic of age arises. If a woman dodges the question, laughs nervously, or makes negative comments about herself, she unintentionally signals that her age is a liability. On the other hand, a woman who says, "I'm 47, and every one of those years taught me something beautiful," radiates strength. She doesn't apologize for her lived experiences. She embodies them. And that level of comfort in her own skin becomes magnetic. Younger men are not repelled by age. They are repelled by the shame or insecurity that women often carry about it. 4. Don't try to compete with youth. Offer what youth cannot. It's natural to want to look and feel your best, but when self-care becomes a frantic attempt to compete with 20-somethings, the essence of maturity is lost. Cosmetic procedures, trendy clothes, and exaggerated efforts to appear younger can come off as inauthentic. What makes a mature woman uniquely desirable is not her ability to mimic youth, but to offer something youth cannot: emotional depth, presence, wisdom, and a grounded sense of identity. A younger man who is truly drawn to an older woman isn't seeking youthful perfection. He's seeking truth, clarity, and emotional resonance. Achievements aren't a love language. It's tempting to lead with your resume, your career success, your investments, your properties. But romantic chemistry isn't built on accomplishments. Respect, yes. Attraction, number. When every conversation becomes a showcase of stability and success, it can start to feel more like a job interview than a date. A younger man might admire what you've built, but he falls in love with how you make him feel: safe, seen, challenged, and inspired. Keep the human connection at the center of your interactions. Let your heart, not just your head, be part of the conversation. 6. Don't make yourself excessively available. Excessive availability is another subtle way of expressing insecurity. When a woman replies to every message instantly, cancels her plans for him, or showers him with non-stop praise, it often creates a dynamic of imbalance. Healthy attraction requires a degree of polarity, mystery, autonomy, and mutual pursuit. A woman with her own life, her own rhythm, and her own passions is infinitely more desirable than one who's too eager to revolve around someone else's world. Presence is powerful, but not when it comes from a place of neediness. 7. Vibrancy beats seriousness. Every time. After years of navigating careers, motherhood, or life after divorce, many mature women fall into the trap of taking themselves too seriously. While maturity and responsibility are admirable, too much solemnity can stifle the joy and spontaneity that make romance exciting. Younger men are not looking for another source of pressure or control. They are drawn to women who laugh freely, who are playful without being childish, who know how to enjoy life without losing depth. A balance between lightheartedness and wisdom is not only attractive, it's rare, and it makes the relationship feel alive. 8. Don't pretend to be indifferent. Some women, afraid of appearing too interested, put on an act of emotional detachment. They try to be cool, distant, or indifferent, believing this creates mystery or preserves power. But faking indifference is a form of self-abandonment. What it often communicates is coldness or disconnection, not confidence. Mature confidence means being emotionally available without being needy, and showing interest without fear. True mystery isn't in what you hide. It's in the depth you reveal with time. 9. Your age is your advantage, not a flaw. Many women carry the belief that being older is something they must overcome or compensate for. This core assumption is where all over-caretaking, overcompensating, and overgiving behaviors stem from. But here's the truth. Your age is not a disadvantage. It's your superpower. You've lived through heartbreak and healing. You've raised children or built businesses. You've learned how to weather storms without losing yourself. That kind of depth and resilience is sexy. It can't be manufactured. It can't be copied. And it certainly can't be faked. A younger man in tune with himself will find your experience fascinating. Not because you explain it, but because you live it. 10. Authenticity is irresistible. The most magnetic women of any age are those who have stopped performing. They're not trying to impress. They're not trying to be chosen. They're simply being who they are. This authenticity comes from wholeness. It comes from not needing a relationship to feel valuable, but being open to one that adds richness to an already full life. The irony is, the less you try to win him over, the more naturally you become unforgettable. It's not because you're older or younger, more successful or better looking. It's because you're real. You're not trying to be anyone else. You're not fighting to prove anything. You're living fully, and that energy is contagious. Final thoughts. What truly attracts isn't youth, it's presence. Carl Jung believed that wholeness, not perfection, was the goal of human development. The mature woman who thrives in love doesn't aim to replicate youth, but to embody presence. She integrates her past into her present with grace. She doesn't hide her story. She honors it. And in doing so, she becomes a source of calm, inspiration, and authentic connection. Younger men who are drawn to mature women aren't seeking mentors, mothers, or fantasy figures. They are seeking someone who offers what youth often lacks: emotional clarity, sensual confidence, and a life that feels meaningful. In a world full of facades, a woman who is unapologetically herself stands out. She's not impressive because she tries to be. She's impressive because she knows who she is. That's what makes her irresistible. So the next time you find yourself wondering if you're too old, too experienced, or too different, remember this. The very things you think disqualify you are the same things that, when embraced, make you one of a kind. Because what truly seduces is not youth. It's wisdom, vibrancy, and the courage to be fully, unapologetically you.